Welcome, Gunrunner.
Over the years there have been many 8-bit computers that were turned into home consoles. There was the ill-conceived and ugly Commodore 64 GS that failed miserably in the marketplace, and its big rival, the much sexier looking and far more powerful Amstrad GX4000, which despite the extra oomph also met a similar fate. Then if we go back a bit further we come across Atari's XE game system, with its uber 80s design aesthetic and full upgradability, meaning it could be converted into a full-blown 64K Atari 8-bit computer with ease. There were even a couple of very obscure ZX Spectrum-based consoles from Russia and Belarus respectively, and I covered both of these in previous story or videos if you're interested in finding out more. But what about Microsoft's hugely popular Japanese home micro, the MSX? Well, I already know what you're thinking. The ColecoVision and Sega SG-1000 are just MXS-based consoles, right? Well, you're kind of right, but also wrong, because both systems do indeed use the technology that became known as the MSX standard, but both were released well before the MSX computers even existed, and so it would probably be a little misleading to call them MSX-based consoles.
퍼스널 컴퓨터의 혁신 MSX 방식 대우 퍼스컴 IQ1000 이제 어떤 MSX 방식 퍼스컴과도 소프트웨어를 바꿔 쓸 수 있습니다.
학습용으로, 사무용으로, 가정용으로 풍부한 소프트웨어
대우 퍼스컴 IQ1000 대우전자.
Now before we go any further, I should probably backtrack a little and tell you a little bit of history about Microsoft's MSX standard and how it came about. We start off in 1983 and a booming home computer market in both North America and Europe, with systems such as the Apple II, ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64 and Atari 8-bit leading the way. This caused the Japanese electronics giants to look on in envy, and they knew they needed a piece of this market and quickly. Their route into this market though came from a rather unlikely source, the Japanese division of American software giants Microsoft. This group was led by one Kazuhiko Nishi, who was then vice president at Microsoft Japan, as well as being a director at the ASCII Corporation. One thing he quickly realised was that there were already far too many home computers on the market, and it was getting very saturated. So he deduced that the industry needed a common standard that could be adopted by all the big manufacturers. Remember, this was a good few years before the IBM PC compatibles that we all use today took over and did just that. Very forward thinking indeed. Development of this concept has started as early as 1980, and it consisted of a Z80 CPU, a Texas Instruments TMS 9918 video chip, and a General Instruments AY38910 sound chip, which is more commonly known as the PSG or Programmable Sound Generator. It would also feature a minimum of 16K RAM, built-in Microsoft Basic as standard, and MSX-DOS. Although primarily designed as a computer, it also included a prominently displayed cartridge slot, which had been put there with video games very much in mind. Once the concept was complete, Nishi started courting all the big Japanese electronics companies to produce their own versions of the machine. Companies such as Sony, Mitsubishi Electronics, Canon, Sanyo, Yamaha and Toshiba would all jump on board pretty quickly, and then the MSX standard started to spread across the world, with Dutch electronics giants Philips signing up, as well as American company Spectra Video, who were already well known to gamers, and Korean market leaders Daewoo Electronics. And it's very much the latter one of those that we need to focus on here, because Daewoo, who many in the West know purely as a car manufacturer, very much saw the gaming pedigree of the MSX and had an idea.
재미있는 제믹스 가족과 즐기세요.
They had already launched their own models of the MSX in their homeland, but were losing out in sales to the glut of illegal Famiclones that had flooded the market. So they thought, what if we make a console to compete with them? By removing things like the keyboard and expansion ports, they could dramatically cost reduce the hardware, and as most MSX games came on cartridge anyway, there wouldn't be any real problems with compatibility. They christened this console the Zemmix, and the very first model, the CPC-50, went on sale in 1985 and proved to be an instant success. The wide availability of MSX games, which were often bootlegs of Japanese titles, meant that the system already had a large software catalogue, and this was growing rapidly. Then on July the 1st, 1987, a major event would happen that gave Daewoo and their Zemmix console a big advantage. The Korean government passed a law that protected the copyright of software programs in that region, meaning all those bootleg games and Famiclones instantly became illegal. Although this didn't put a complete stop to the plagiarism, it did quell the tie significantly and give the officially licensed Zemmix a huge advantage, not only in terms of retail space, but also in the availability of new games. And because of this, many of the companies that were previously pushing out these bootlegs set up proper game studios to develop new games for the Zemmix and keep their grip on this lucrative market. Names such as Zemina, Clover and ProSoft will all be more than familiar to all MSX fans out there, with titles such as Brother Adventure, Flashpoint and Legend of the Sword soon hitting the shelves. As well as creating original titles, they also did conversions of popular Japanese arcade games such as Vigilante, Double Dragon, Bubble Bobble, Tetris and Altered Beast, although whether any of these titles were actually officially licensed is very much up for debate.
컴퓨터로도 쓸 수 있어요.
The huge success of the Zemmix in its homeland saw a number of upgrades and add-ons appear, including keyboards and storage devices to turn it into a full-blown MSX computer, as well as a range of different controllers. Following on from the original Zemmix and Zemmix V consoles came the Zemmix Super V, which used the enhanced MSX2 technology, and the Zemmix Turbo V, which was based on the very last MSX configuration, the Advanced Turbo R computer. Daewoo would continue to manufacture Zemmix consoles right up until 1995, but believe it or not, that's not where this story ends, as in the modern day a team of hardcore MSX fans have created several new versions of the Zemmix hardware. Firstly, there is the Zemmix Neo and Neo Lite, created by Retro Team Neo, which uses FPGA technology to recreate the MSX Turbo R in a modern compact design. And then there is the Zemmix Mini, which goes for the much cheaper emulation route, utilising a Raspberry Pi instead. This uses an authentic miniaturised design and is available in a number of different colours. Believe it or not, Retro Team Neo even managed to officially license the Zemmix name and ROM from Daewoo themselves, making this much more than another fan project. I was quite surprised to learn about these, and think that it's sad that they're not better known, as they offer a great way to introduce MSX games to the masses. So there we have it. The Xbox was far from Microsoft's first route into the console market, as these MSX-based systems prove. Now who's going to give us an MSX port of Halo, eh? I thank you all for watching Before Xbox, the story of the first Microsoft games console. I hope you enjoy watching this video and would love to hear your opinions in the comments. But before I go, I must thank all of my loyal patrons for continuing to support my channel and make videos like this possible, giving special thanks to the following patrons in particular: Thunder Fundington, John DiLiberto, Carl Olsen, Mark Lawrence, Mr. Kaboto and Coldar Fusion. If you also want to help support my creative endeavours, including this YouTube channel, then please go and check out my Patreon right now, where you can get access to a host of extra content, including downloads, exclusive videos, creative insights and much more besides. I've been the Laird, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again for another video very soon.